Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, we had quite an interesting night in the Call of Duty world and the Call of Duty landscape on social media last night, and I feel like I need to tell you about this, go over it. And I know I've been talking about how I didn't want to release news and I didn't want to talk about rants and stuff like that, but I feel like this one's actually very important to kind of like the future of Call of Duty. And so I want to go over it, and it's involving somebody that I've referenced on the channel a bunch, and it's also referencing Call of Duty themselves. And then I got roped in because Call of Duty replied to one of my tweets. So let's break down this entire thing, and I'm going to give you my opinions on what's going on and what I think, you know, both sides of the aisle here, and maybe what's right and what's wrong. And anyway, let's get into this. I guess we'll call it another rant today. So as of late, let me catch you up on a little bit of a backstory here. As of late, I feel like Call of Duty has been actually semi-active on Twitter. Now, the funny thing is about this, I had a conversation with somebody at a Call of Duty event, and I really felt like Call of Duty has been missing being active in the community and feeling like they're actually listening to people instead of like putting out these random blogs here and there that seem like they're written with ChatGPT. I feel like the old days where Vandahar was in charge and all these other people involved, and Condry and Schofield and what's the other one from Modern Warfare? I'm sorry, I don't remember your name right now. Mark Rubin. Like, they were all very active at replying to people, getting feedback, listening, and kind of giving their thoughts on why they made decisions that they made. And it felt to me like it was very personal. Like, Call of Duty was very personal with their audience. And in the last couple years, in my opinion, I think ever since MW19, they've kind of just shut themselves out. And a big portion of this was the Joe CSOT, and I think there was like a community manager for MW19. Listen, they were getting some messages that probably weren't the best, and they were getting probably death threats at the time, I'm sure, and things that are not to be said to another human being. And so after MW19, with the decisions that they were making with that game, people just went off on them. And a lot of the people that were in the community aspect, I feel like just went dark, no pun intended. And there just has been nobody really talking to us. Like, it used to be Vandahar, and in Cold War, he was kind of out, in my opinion. Like, he was there, but he was kind of out. And obviously in Black Ops 6, he was fully out. And then, you know, Joe CSOT, he kind of goes dark. Nobody's really talking to us. It's just like generic blog posts that come out of nowhere, and you're like, okay, it's this, they're doing this, and we really don't have a say. There's no replies. And lately, Call of Duty has actually been doing a better job of this. The conversation that I had with this person at the COD event was like, you guys need to be more active and talk to people and reply to people, and I dare I even say defend yourself a little bit, because I feel like sometimes you guys get beat up and you just take it. Like, if you guys actually were to reply and be like, yo, that's not true, and we'll get into that in a second, you know, maybe this would be better for you. And also maybe like, hey, let us know why you made some of the decisions you did, rather than some super automated video or super automated blog post. So lately they've actually been doing that. There was like some sort of insider gaming thing that came out the other day where Call of Duty is the #1 search result where people look for hacks in video games. So like, they're the #1 game, which sadly, I believe this is a fact, because people just, Call of Duty people, you got to wake up here a little bit. And they had these search results. Now, search results don't technically mean people actually went in and bought, you know, cheats, but let's be honest, if there's more searches, there's probably, you know, it probably is still the top result. And Call of Duty came out and they were like, hey, a study with no actual real cheat data. This is just search data, kind of like search and destroy. So now I appreciate the response. I think they're starting to do this more, and it's often, I think they did another one as well. And I don't know, I don't have that tweet in front of me, and I don't know what the topic was, but that kind of comes into our next thing. So they've been replying to people, and I think they should do it more. I think there should be a community manager kind of speaking on behalf of the people. and taking feedback and listening. And so last night, this is where everything kind of broke out and got crazy. Ghost of Hope. Now, most of you probably know who that is. If you don't know who that is, let me give you a quick explanation. This guy's been around the scene. I feel like he's been around since like Vanguard. Maybe before that, he would probably, maybe it was Cold War. Pretty much, this guy has been a leaker. He's got pretty good information. I mean, for the most part, I feel like he's kind of nailed the leaks in my opinion. We've used him a number of times for videos and news videos to talk about, you know, what we think is happening in the next Call of Duty, what is happening with a new season, what a skin is coming, all that stuff. And so, I mean, he's just been doing it. And out of nowhere last night, I think it was like 6 o'clock. I'm going to read this tweet for you word for word. He puts out a tweet. Activision has legally demanded that I stop leaking confident information related to Call of Duty / Activision, and I am complying with their demands. He's still going to stick around and chat and talk about Call of Duty, but nothing with leaks and confidential information. And he says, cheers for the past few years. So pretty much Call of Duty sent him a cease and desist regarding leaks. Like, stop doing it. If you do it, we're gonna send some people. And so he obviously stops. And what I think is interesting about this, at least in my opinion, is he's been really hard on Modern Warfare. Supposedly the next Call of Duty is Modern Warfare 4, and he's been reporting as early as 2 years ago that it is an MW2 clone. It's MW2 Part 2. And every update, it's another one and another one and another one, and it's always the fact that it's bad. And I think that is probably the one that struck the nerve of Call of Duty the most, because in my opinion, right now, Call of Duty as a landscape, it just feels like no matter what they do, they just continue to trip themselves up. Like it feels like it's just a bad decision, a bad reply. And it just feels like no matter what they're doing, and I even want to talk about this real quick, the Blackout that's coming out. If you guys didn't know, Blackout is coming out, Blackout 2 is coming out with the new season, or season reloaded, season 2 reloaded. And to me, this has got, it's something that I'm really excited for. It's an extension of Blackout 1 from Black Ops 4. There's no loadouts. There's perks on the ground. It's a new map. And to me, it's like this could breathe a little life into Call of Duty. And instead, they make it into what seems like a bonus mode. And there's only quads. So it's like, it's almost like it's a special mode. You don't even really have to play it. And it's quads only. Listen, I don't have 3 friends that play Warzone at 9 o'clock at night ever. So I'm probably gonna play this one time with a bunch of randoms and go, never mind, I'm good. And I feel like they're gonna take that data and go, well guys, you see, it didn't work. Warzone casuals is the answer. And it's like, no, dude, I still think the move for this, they're releasing this at midnight. Black Ops Royale, whatever they're calling it, is coming out on midnight on the 13th. And to me, I think it would have just been awesome to clear all of the battle royale, even if it's for a week or 2 weeks, and make this the sole mode and see how people like it. Introduce duos, solos, trios, quads, and make it something where everybody's got to try. And everybody's got to try it out and see the feedback you get, rather than making it this limited time thing. And people are still going to click on Warzone casuals because they don't even know what Black Ops Royale is. Black Ops doesn't hold a weight anymore. People don't care about that game. So I feel like they're just missing these small things that could get people back into like the good graces. Because I feel like when they announced the Blackout, people were actually excited. But now I've lost a little bit of interest because I'm just like, all right, well, it's going to be quads. It's going to be limited. There's going to be nothing but sweats on there. And it's just, I just don't care like that anymore. So anyway, they seem to be tripping over their own feet is where I'm getting at. And to me, when you see this Ghost of Hope tweet, I just feel like this dude, I don't know. I feel like the replies for him were actually defending him a lot from Call of Duty. And I want to say this too, because y'all know me. I love Call of Duty. I always do. Well, this is where I come into the picture here, actually. So I was saying how he was kind of destroying MW2 or MW4, MW2 Part 2. And he's kind of continuing to do that. And I think right now Call of Duty can't really have any more negative press. Like, it's already going to be an uphill battle if GTA comes out. If you have negative press going into this Call of Duty with how bad BO7 is performing, they may never recover. And I've said this before in another video. So I think their best option was to shut him down, because if he keeps leaking that MW4 is bad and bad and bad and bad, and the sentiment around the game is bad, they are going to be in trouble this year. And Modern Warfare is a name that carries a lot of weight. So I think that they're going to be treating this like another MW19, where there's like a reset and people come back. And if people just think it's going to be terrible and they're just going to wait for GTA, nobody's even going to try this game. So it was in their best interest to finally shut this guy down. And you can see the replies on this. It's like, you know, you killed it, legendary leaker. And I feel like he was one of those people that, to me, was actually keeping the hype around Call of Duty, because he would leak these little small things and you're like, oh, wait, that's kind of exciting. And it's a positive thing and it's good. And so I think it's weird, because Call of Duty is a few years back, when the leaks were like positive towards them, and it was positive towards like Vanguard. We didn't know what Vanguard was yet. They would have these tweets like almost encouraging the leaks. And I can find this tweet now. I'll put it up here. It's like they were encouraging it. They were playing along with it, because Call of Duty was in such a good spot that any publicity is good publicity. You know, they were just like, hey, we're crushing it with Warzone. The leaks are flying for Vanguard. Everybody's happy. This is going to be great. Let's kind of pour it on with the leaks. And so they didn't care then. And so a lot of the things too now that Call of Duty's been coming out and saying is, hey, these leaks are kind of sometimes hurting us, because, and I do agree with this, they're hurting us because it doesn't allow for kind of any surprises or anything for developers to kind of react to this. And I've seen this in the Fortnite side of things. I mean, you have people announcing stuff like the HyperX Twitter account. Like he's announcing collabs in Fortnite like 3 months prior to it coming out. And to me, that you lose that surprise factor of gaming, where imagine if Daft Punk would have come to Fortnite in the store randomly and we had no idea, and like the whole world's freaking out about it. Instead, you just get these little leaks over time, and then when it actually happens, you're like, oh, okay. So I actually, where I come into this is, I saw Ghost of Hope tweet this and them take him down, and my initial thought was, okay, here's what I tweeted. So if Call of Duty is shutting Ghost of Hope down, was he right about everything? Because to me, you're only going to silence somebody if they're actually talking truth about the game that you're trying to kind of hype up and make it better. And Call of Duty actually replied to me shortly after and said, nah, even when leaks are wrong, they still hurt the people building the game and mess with player expectations. So again, I want to go to defend Call of Duty for a second, because if Call of Duty, you're watching this, or developers, I totally agree with this. Like, I think I would love to have surprises again in Call of Duty. I would love that. I would love to boot into a game and there's suddenly something there that I don't know exists. And you know, even with like zombies now, I talked about this with Chopper in the podcast, the Going Dark podcast. It's like everything's kind of handed to you now. So like the Easter eggs and stuff like that, it's handed. I want to discover this stuff on my own. And so I totally get that perspective of don't mess with expectation, because guess what? Like the zombie game the other week, you know, if the zombie game that gets leaked spreads like wildfire and Call of Duty's making this zombie game and then it actually doesn't come out, Call of Duty's going to get ripped for that too. So they're kind of in a lose-lose situation here. But I just think at the same time, I don't know. I feel like I don't think it was that big of a deal that there were tweets going on like that, but I do see the building aspect of the game. You know, I get it messing with the expectations. I really do. Now, where I'm going to fight back a little bit here is, and I'm just really ranting, but I'm going to say it again. I think the leaks were the positive things that were going around in the Call of Duty scene. Because in my opinion, I don't think Call of Duty is doing a very good job of marketing their game. I think the sentiment, like I said earlier, is so down bad that what are they going to say to bring people back? Like I was saying this earlier too. The last time that I remember people being hyped for a Call of Duty, like super duper hyped, everybody's on board, everybody's playing it. It was MW2, the recent one, the newest one. And after that, after how bad that performed, after everybody quit, they've just been unable to recover from bad publicity. Whether it's the hacker thing in Warzone and saying the same message that they said in 2020 and 2022, and it still happened anyway. Whether MW3 leaks and it's, you know, supposed to be a DLC and, you know, it ends up becoming a full product because of that. They were unable to kind of swing that around, even though it was a decent multiplayer. You know, the expectations of fans, like they said, was that it was a DLC. And here's the thing. The leaks definitely hurt that game. They hurt the game because people thought it was going to be a DLC and it ended up being a full game. And here's the thing. I just don't know how you don't look at that product and go, that was supposed to be a DLC. So it's like they're fighting this uphill battle. It's like, guys, even if you said it was not supposed to be a DLC, people are not going to believe you because of what the product looks like. And then you go BO6, and that game's supposed to be this Cold War, you know, hyper realistic, you know, whole thing that they're advertising this cool story. And then guess what? We got Beavis and Butthead by January, and that game's dead. And then again, you have BO7 coming out, and it's just more of the same. It feels like an extension of BO6 with wall bouncing, and then the campaign gets shown, and then it's just downhill from there. It's like everything that they're trying to do, they're continuing to try to like build up a positive sentiment around the game, and they just can't. And I'm like, man, leaks sometimes help you in that way, where it's like that zombie leak was kind of cool. And I just feel like at this point in time, Call of Duty, if you're watching this, I don't think leaks are the problem. I think it's just you have to get back to an identity of who you want to be. And Call of Duty is at its best when it's trying to be Call of Duty. Don't try to be Fortnite. Don't try to be Arc Raiders. Don't try to be any of these games. Be yourself. Be a game that is made for adults. I know you've been trying this different thing with battle passes and this and that. Just talk to us like we're adults. Make these tweets, interact with us. Get a community manager back to talk to us why you made the decisions you made. And what's planned for the future. I know Call of Duty likes to do these big reveals, but maybe that's not a thing that is working anymore, because these fake automatic trailers like the seasons trailers, I don't think they get me hyped up anymore. So maybe more discussion is needed in Call of Duty. But anyway, I think it's interesting that they're going for the leakers. I think it's I mean, I appreciated them tweeting me back. And I just figured I'd do a video reply instead. And so, yeah, I know I'm ranting for a while, but it's kind of summarizing what's going on. Like, the leaks have been happening. They used to be okay with the leaks. Now they're not okay with the leaks because the game's in such a bad spot, despite whatever stats and numbers you want to show me. I get it. People don't like Call of Duty right now. So it's like now you're eliminating the leakers that were bringing some hype to the game. And so I want to know the approach of what's going on. You know, what are we doing now? What are we doing to bring the positive vibes back? Bring the game back to what it was like even just a few years ago. You know, to Cold War 2019 era, at least there were some people still loving the game. So yeah, Call of Duty, if you listen to this, I like that you're doing the replies. I do. Maybe just format them a little bit different and give us a little bit more details on what you got going on. And leakers, I guess I would stop leaking and maybe we'd get some surprises again. I'm okay with that. Like, remember the first time you beat World at War and zombies popped up? I mean, I miss that. I miss that kind of stuff. And I'd be down to be surprised like that again. So I don't know. What do you guys think in the comments down below? I didn't expect this video to go 20 minutes, but here we are. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Although, by the way, too, if you made it this far, Resident Evil video is going up on Tdawg Plays tomorrow. So go subscribe to that channel if you haven't already. All right, guys, I'm going to go get some dinner. See you in the next video.